Ever wondered how we balance the urgent need to address climate change with the public's growing concern over the cost of doing so? Welcome to the net zero dilemma, a complex issue that has been making headlines recently. In the world of private equity, major firms like Blackstone, Carlyle, KKR, Apollo, and others are striving to reduce emissions from their portfolio companies. This is no easy task, as it involves navigating a tricky landscape of environmental, social, and governance divisions among states. Actions perceived as left-leaning risk, angering clients in Republican-led states, and selling assets to irresponsible buyers could undermine decarbonization efforts. Despite these challenges, some firms are forging ahead with robust decarbonization plans. Meanwhile, cities and states are taking their own actions. New York City has asked private markets managers to exclude upstream fossil fuel investments as part of its net zero emissions goals. The state of Maine plans to divest from fossil fuels by 2026. Yet these actions aren't without controversy. Divestment bills and restrictions on environmental, social, and governance considerations in investment decisions have stirred debate and complicated firms' communication of their strategies to investors. Across the pond in the UK, the economy's recovery from lockdown restrictions has slowed, leading to scrutiny of decisions such as winding up the furlough scheme. The government faces a dilemma between its levelling up and green agendas, especially in light of higher energy prices and carbon reduction efforts. On a global scale, a growing backlash against the rising costs of achieving net zero carbon emissions targets is prompting policymakers to rethink their approach. While over 90% of global GDP and greenhouse gas emissions are covered by national net zero targets, only 10% of nations with such targets have detailed plans in place. This gap has led to public skepticism about the costs and effectiveness of net zero policies, with voters questioning the benefits and demanding fair distribution of costs. So where does this leave us? The net zero dilemma is a complex issue with no easy solutions. Balancing the urgent need to address climate change with the public's concern over costs is a challenge that requires careful navigation. In summary, the net zero dilemma is a multifaceted issue influenced by various factors including political leanings, economic circumstances, and public sentiment. Despite these challenges, the need for action remains urgent. Private equity firms, cities, states, and nations are all grappling with this issue, attempting to balance climate goals with potential backlash. The road to net zero may be rocky, but it's a journey we must undertake for the sake of our planet.